they feel they are better organized than the West and China. Right. Same thing happened with me and Tommy when the thing about Korea. When I sit and looked at one of their issues and then assessed the situation, explained it in relative terms of how their the standard of their male behavior would handle the situation. So, dang, you did it. I was like, yeah, I know. Well, it's easier to correct what they think they're doing in China in the East than it is in the West. Because the West is a clusterfuck, and in the East, this is how we organize our fuck. Really? Okay. What's really the issue and the problem is how many people are in China? Okay. Why are these women doing this? Because they feel they need that attention, the attention that women need and deserve, right? Women need and deserve attention. We as men do not live without women. Okay, you wouldn't be in a position to build your little fucking kung fu fucking robots if not for women. Okay. And so honor thy mother and father. And so you're not doing that. These women feel they need this attention, this acceptance, this, oh, you're so beautiful, knowing damn well that it's the computer and not them. Okay? Who wants to hear that they're beautiful because of a painting made by a computer, but it gives them, it's content creators, so they're doing it for selling merchandise, to feel more comfortable, to feel successful, and so if you can't have an affectionate, kind husband with affectionate, kind children, and the inheritance of a home that's a house, a home, a family, and a man who loved his soul, who believed she'd leave us to join the burlesque show. Right. Say, has anybody seen my Sweet Gypsy Rose? Well, yeah, she just got invented into Sweet Gypsy Rose through the computer. This is what's beautiful. The computer doesn't know what's beautiful because the computer is invented by people that are not beautiful, right? Because we're judged by our deed. We are what we do. All right? And so you're not a creator. You're not a content creator. You're a content manipulator. Okay. Creation is you. Invention and manipulation is only in manipulation of what is already created for you. In that mistranslation of those ancient books, your father knows what you need before you meet it. In other words, saying, in order to exist through holy covenants, what you already have to do so is already provided for you. You just have to have balance, harmony, and understand, and thus continue to do so. The wisdom flows through the wise like a babbling brook. Okay. And wisdom is wisdom. And Confucius and Solomon are of the same spirit in listening to speak, right? And so when someone is eternally righteous, tribalism doesn't matter. That goes out the window, right? It's irrelevant because God's omniscient, omnipotent, and life is eternal through be fruitful, multiply, and holy covenants. Okay, it's the same in China as it is in Israel. It's the same in Alaska and Greenland as it is in Australia and New Zealand and so forth, right? When God being omniscient and life being eternal and this planet being the source of our life, a sacrifice for holy eternal life through holy covenants, then it's no different anywhere you go, right? So content inventors, because they're being manipulated, are a result of that manipulation. Is that correct? Right. So money being an invention to manipulate, to give the delusion of power and authority to an abomination, denying the beauty of creation. You want Confucius, you'll get Confucius. right? Okay. Sun Yat-sen talks to me. He doesn't talk to any of the people that are building robots for Kung Fu theater. He doesn't talk to people that are regulating internet content for manipulation through philanthropy. He talks to me. Okay. The line of the perfect father through all of Asia, Korea, Japan, China, Malaysia, Indonesia, okay, the Philippines. The fuck for the buck stops here. Do you understand? Confucius talks to me and through me. Okay? The swordsman of Japan, the kindness to protect us from the abusive, talks to me. Wakarimasu? Hey. Do you understand? They don't have Sears and Roebuck anymore. I get my belt at Walmart. Okay. A black belt, it's from Walmart. Or Pat Morita. He's supposed to be Okinawan, not John Japanese, right? So it's like my Aunt Nana. Yeah, she is Okinawan. It's tribes. It's like you don't tell a Scottish or a British or a Scottish or an Irish person that they're British, right? Yeah, they get really mad. Right? I don't think do British people really get mad if you accuse them of being Scottish or Irish? I don't think they get too offended, do you? Oh, those charming chaps. They're quite funny. Huh? I don't drink quite that much. Are you sure? There's just as probably many lushes in Britain as they in England as there is in Scotland and the UK. I'm not trying to hear that. See, you motherfuckers got pubs everywhere. Right? There's a pub. You got a pub in your basement and shit. I have the T-Mobile little man cave rec room thing. So in Britain is like, what are you doing? Okay, exercising, working out, drinking our booze. It's true. There's nothing so because I know right about this minute. I'm in it. Admit it. I did it for you. Alcoholism has been a problem for years. Because people, that's one of the number one hiding places from reality in the history of the world is alcohol. Okay. And now, the internet to get money, to feel validated and important when you're successful through the internet. It's the new alcohol. And then spending. I think a lot of it has to do with targeting people for their carbon signature print. Because, they like the Beverly Hillbillies and shit. And when... no, man, it's like... But the thing is it's what's the brother's name? John Legend, live it up, baby. No, Robin Peter to pay Paul. Wait, keep it up with the Kardashians. Yeah, they got the whole. They got more color, and they in the Dominican. They take Miami. They take the Hamptons. They take they get, and then they make more money, but they spend money, right? And rich white people, they don't spend money. They do like that one dude said on the Howard Stern show or whatever stuff, where the guy comes in, right? He goes to, was it LaGuardia? It could be LaGuardia or JFK. It don't matter. The airport in New York, right? He sits there. He comes into a bank. He has a $250,000 Ferrari, right? He uses it as collateral for a $10,000 like signature loan, right? So they take it. Okay, that's a $250,000 Ferrari. So they park it in this safe area for the bank because the bank's using it for collateral for the signature loan, right? And then the guy goes and brings back the thing, pays back the loan, because he's a billionaire, right? And then he comes back and they're all making fun of him how stupid he is because he used this $250,000 car as collateral for a $10,000 signature loan, which he was easily because he's a billionaire, right? And they're all talking about just how stupid it is. He goes, I went to Europe for a month and paid this with interest back and got this. I made money off of you watching my car for me while I was in Europe. That's why I'm a billionaire. And you're an idiot making fun of the idiot who left the $250,000 car as collateral for a $10,000 signature loan. That's a $250,000 Ferrari. You might want to hold on to that one. Our word is our bond. You've been wearing extra gloves? Yeah. It's the Siraki's. Okay. I gotta go. Just go, man. Just go. Ooh, that's warm, right? Look at the butt on that. Yeah, she must work out. Right? So I know what type of people I'm dealing with. China doesn't have a clue of what I'm dealing with. When you start taking the people that you think are a threat to your order because they're magical thinkers, they're dreamers, they're idealists, like that asshole told me in service, you're an idealist and you get people killed. Oh, wow. I did not know that the technology was killing people at Fort Huachuca while I was posting on YouTube. I did not know that the technology was because of its, quote, religious programming. I didn't know that was happening. And so you get people killed, people that keep us safe. No, people that keep money an illusion. In this world, there is so much controversies. I do like that song, but the thing about it is black people, let your minds be liberated. People that are faithful. Emancipate yourself from slavery, mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And the soul listens greater than the mind. Have no fear for atomic energy from them that can stop time. So don't fear being murdered. But that way, then you won't turn into a murderer. Protect life with your life when necessary, but only when necessary. And don't put yourself into an irrational martyrdom bullshit for a paycheck or for a spot on the news, right? I know how to kick the shit out of assholes faster than you can. I am better than a Christ colonic. This is great. There's another thing. Oh, my body. I had salad the last couple of days, and boy, it's cleaning out stuff out of my colon. Why don't you eat it all the time and stuff? Because it's not my, I have to make the diet, I would eat salads just about 3 to 4 times a week all year. Okay. But it's not my money, it's Dad's, and I'm taking care of Dad, and we eat more or less, I kind of asked him to see what he wants to eat. Okay. And so that's what we have to do. Yeah, it's cheaper to eat the salads and stuff like that, and once it gets warmer, I do get more of the salads, and we eat a lot more salads, and he's okay with it and stuff, but I would go that way year round. Until I'm totally cleaned out from all the chemical poisoning from the job with the Western Union that supplied little girls to get raped to death. You're never able to stop us. And I tried to talk them out of it, and they didn't. And they were just putting on a show. We have just, yeah, I got you. I gave you opportunity to step up. You got to give them an opportunity. Like I told Patrick when he was a kid, you got to give him a chance to save face. And I tried that, and it didn't work. And so, no, they were always outsmarting me. They're fucking geniuses. Yeah, they are. Okay. A genius has the highest score on the IQ test. For what? For how to make more money. Oh, why did I drop out of school? Because economics is genocidal. Okay. I don't want your blood money. Right. So you got to understand when you're very, very, very intelligent, you understand things real well and you can explain them very simply. To the point where it's like, wow, I didn't see how to, And so not saying that Albert Einstein and Richard Feynman and all these scientists, Brian Cox, they're products of years of academic competition, economic abuse. Okay. I'm poor. We just keep walking. We get in a boat and we come here and then they come and, we try to establish a homestead and then they come and here comes the town and the post office and the railroad. And then we start walking, And so, yeah, walking to New Orleans where I'm walking. Yes, indeed. I'm talking about you and me and I'm hoping that you'll come back to me. We don't mind getting together. Like I said, when I was a kid here, my mom and my dad got together people, we had chickens and mom would trade eggs for milk with the people that had a cow and stuff like that. And they did a lot of that, a lot of communal things and stuff. And Mom flirted with Manny for the best cups of beat at JMB. Right? It's just cute. Manny was a good guy. Right? The butcher. He liked my mom. Everybody that was a good person liked my mom. Okay. Only self-righteous, pretentious shitheads didn't like my mom. Okay. All the people that were good people that, fights against wrong with his life. It takes every kind of people. He's looking for a duty to his king or to his creed. No, Mom was different than that. Mom would just, was what she thought was right, she would stand up for. And what she thought was wrong, she would stand up and say, hey, somebody needs to say something about that. Right? She was always that person when people were being racist or say she was the one who got it. And she'd get mad at me, Earl, you can't do that. They'll kill you. It's like, Mom, you're a kid. Okay. Ma. Hello, Ma. Okay. But you can't, a woman can do it and she's just being bitchy. If another man, she's telling me that all the time. If another man does it, okay, you can stand up and be strong, but you got to run the corporation. You got to get your to the top of the table. So I'm not going to talk, why? Because economics is genocidal, mother. Okay. I am not going to fight my way to the top of the boardroom to save the maid. I'm not Tyler Perry, mother. Okay, it's not going to happen. Not in this lifetime or the next, or the ones before, primero. Yeah, they had me thinking a lot about that with my genetic, because the things, with a lot of the things in the Civil War, I have a lot of prayer connections to the people here. I have a lot of prayer connections to maybe pioneers. I don't know. I haven't thought about that much. But like I said, I don't think of it much. I don't know if a lot of the memories I had with... I'm certain that the ones of Herschel, that there is a genetic sequence there. Okay? By my diet and the food that I liked and the things that I was used to and stuff. And also, I was always into Italian food. Yes. Okay. But and it's in the book of Daniel. So yeah, I'm certain about the thing with Herschel Steinschneider. And right when Amy showed me that thing, and oh my gosh, looks like my uncle, and yeah, and it just whoosh. It was like opening up a whoa, a bunch of memories and things. And okay, it was very difficult. It was a hard knock life. It was a very difficult life. I understand he was a very successful philanthropist and an actor and pretended to be an opera singer, and he was very talented and a psychic and so forth. He was all kinds of jack of all trades, and he's a very talented person, very charismatic, talented person. I understand that. Okay, but it was a very difficult life. He was circumcised. He had to always masquerade as Enrique Caruso to keep from getting persecuted as a Jew. It was a very tough life. And he had to work out things with people and protect the people. That he protected the gypsies and the Austro-Hungarian border stuff. Okay, so he was a very good person in a very tough situation. A lot like me. Yeah, that's true. Well, my thing is, there's people, you haven't had this and that. No, I don't go looking for trouble. Trouble comes looking for me. Like I told my family when I got back here from Sierra Vista and Fort Huachuca, I said, I didn't bring this fight to your politicians and your pastors and your theologians and shit. They brought it to me. I was just trying to, I couldn't have a good family life. I couldn't have the life I wanted because they were constantly testing me biblically to see how does he handle this, and it never stopped. And the thing was with the scientific community, well, eventually he's going to lose it and become, Michael Douglas from Falling Down or something. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Because life's eternal, grace is infinite, you little fucking putz. Okay. It's hard. I'm not going to say none of it was easy. It's very difficult, extraordinarily difficult. Okay. But being faithful when other people are not faithful is hard because they're unfaithful, not because you're unfaithful. Okay, they make your life difficult. You don't make it difficult. And that's the nice thing about it is when you're a faithful person, you don't make problems for yourself or for others. All the assholes trying to eradicate your legend and your prophecy to replace it with their ego make it hard. Okay, but that can all end just like that. We could all wake up tomorrow And hi, that's Earl. He's the guy from the Book of Revelation. He's really cool. I like him. I like him. He's nice. He protects people from perverts that kill people with disease and say they're saving them with medical research. He's the coolest. Well, he also explained that the scientific method is flawed because if you observe and question and you understand that the hypothesis is that we're not living the Lord's Prayer, you don't have to test to fix what's wrong. You just have to live what is right, so you don't have to be the solution to the problem when you cause the problem. It's so neat. Care, share, given according to me, built to last. Because we've forgiven debt and trespass, love, and eternal faithful peace. Eternal faithful peace. He's the coolest. I am. Yeah, I concur. I totally agree. Okay, so that can happen. That can happen. Come Monday. It can happen in the morning. It can happen shortly after this video. Okay. It's depending on what happens with the technology. You know, there's a lot of people in China that speak English and understand it better than a lot of you people in the United States think you speak it or understand it. Same with India. Okay. Do you know there's more population on planet Earth than India and China? So if the computing switches and changes in China and more people know who I am than Rachel Dowskin, Glenn Beck's broke ain't going to be able to fix it. With all the king's horses and all the king's men ain't going to be able to put his ego back together again, right? You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to Doc Elder. I like him. But he was telling us about the stuff about, he does lots of history. He knows his American history and about the Civil War. I didn't know they had a Civil War battle in Little Rock. I knew they had Hattiesburg and other things like that and stuff. And I was like, well, that makes sense. Yeah, so it was on a frontier battle. I wonder if Grant had anything to do with it. I'm not sure, but was Sherman who burned Atlanta? Was it Sheridan that was out west? Maybe so. I'm not sure, but I didn't pay much attention. I'm not really into that. My things as far as history are not battles and dates and things and stuff like that. History is understanding the consistency of mistakes and how to stop repeating them by the perfection of truthful and faithful living. So that's how I look at history. So history, you know, man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. But I understand he has to be devoted to his profession and his craft because that's what pays his bills and helps him be with his wife and be on KSAR radio and call the games. And he enjoys calling the games. He enjoys the people and the kids and the community. And I understand it completely because he's got his own little niche. And I would continue staying there and doing it, but we'd have to build you a mound. So if there's any heavy winds, it just goes right over the house and you stay inside and go, okay, you know, look out the window. And we can do it with polymers and ways to, you're not going to get a lot of mold in Portales, you know, stuff. And so, you know, there are certain areas where it's feasible to do so and others where it's not. And it'd have to be in a place that's not, overly wet, that has a lot of mold and stuff. So they would work in places like Wichita Falls and other places and stuff, and Portales and stuff. But other places where it gets more, where you get more moisture and stuff like that, it wouldn't be a good idea to build the mound houses. We'd have to look at a different way of building. So we just have to look at the topography and get with the science kiddos and go, okay, well, what's this? And yeah. And so that's the intelligence of observe, question, form a hypothesis, and test. It works well that way. But that's King Solomon's share, care, given according to need, built to last. There you go. Ba-doom boom, right? So, okay, I got to go to bed, but we had to load this one. Well, in China, you know, it's Shanghai breezes. It's the same old moon as the sky. That's not true. She's not looking at the moon. You in China, and she's in Denver or Aspen. You're looking at the moon, she's looking at the sun. Well, you know, it's the other side of the world. But I love you guys, all right? Peace out. I'll talk in the morning to y'all. Top of the morning to you in the top of the morning. All right, peace out, man.